not entirely sure if your version of the truth is all that matters.
Truth is singular. Its versions mistruth.
Hello guys, welcome to another, let me see if I can turn this other light on, make it so you can see me a little better. Is that better? Another late night live stream. Okay, let me go over where I can see the chat. That's on the dark screen. I still don't like that dark screen, but that's okay. Tonight I'm gonna share some like phenomena, anomalies, how a takeover could happen, possibilities, probabilities, and I always ask that you use discernment with any information, that is put out for anybody at any time. Check my work, check anybody's work, check everybody's work. So, with your own research, of course. Now, I captured a clip from the Law of One series from, I guess it's a 106-part series that's been broken down into palatable ways of understanding, and getting the information through. What I have found as I have been listening to these is there's a ton of information that really puts it out there for, when we look at like sky watchers and the anomalies that we're seeing, it really validates their work. It also validates that, there's a possibility we're not alone. And then when, we talk about the war in heaven, we think it's, amongst angels and things like that. But, we got to put it into the concept of the writer in the best way that they can describe what they were seeing at that time. Also, how, linear time or history, some people believe it's fixed, where others come to the realization that it's fluid, or, just the different realizations that we come to, and just to get a better understanding of who and what we are, what we're facing. Can somebody say something if you can hear me okay? Make sure my sound is coming through. It keeps like jumping up and down. Are they playing freaking commercials during my live stream? Huh. Okay, well, if anybody could say if you can hear me okay or anything. You see my background is an actual toroidal field, which is like the energy that surrounds each of us, and how we can expand our toroidal field, and how actually like toroidal fields can be a way of transportation used by galactics or angels or whatever we would like to call them. Okay, now it says there's 5. So can somebody let me know if my sound is okay and that it's actually still have to do the 2-click live thing. So hi Janice. Okay, so yeah, can you hear me okay then? Yes, apparently. You're live. Go. Great. Okay, now I got this clip, and the name that in this clip, he calls him something else, but he's actually talking about Moses, and that, you know, how Moses was a pure vessel, pure intentions, good intentions. And when they have the pure and good intentions, they don't use the thou shalt nots and things like that. So I want to share this with you guys. Let me pop up the Fair Use Act real quick. So there, I'm within the law. I have also put the link for this clip that I'm sharing with you guys down in the description box. If you want to do some research on your own or look further into this topic, that will bring you to their channel, and they've broken them down into palatable pieces to help digest this wealth of information from, you know, beings outside of our spectrum. So let me start this. This is from section 16. I shared a little piece from, I think it was section 12 the other day. It's just really fascinating. So enjoy.
I am Ra. I greet you in the love and the light of the infinite creator. We communicate now. Question 16.1. Questioner, I would like to ask, considering the free will distortion of the law of one, how come the guardians quarantine the earth? Is this quarantine within free will? Answer, I am Ra. The guardians guard the free will distortion of the mind, body, spirit complexes of third density on this planetary sphere. The events which required activation of quarantine were interfering with the free will distortion of mind, body, spirit complexes. Question 16.2. Questioner, I may be wrong, but it seems to me that it would be the free will of, say, the Orion group, to interfere. How is this balanced with the information which you just gave? Answer, I am Ra. The balancing is from dimension to dimension. The attempts of the so-called crusaders to interfere with free will are acceptable upon the dimension of their understanding. However, the mind, body, spirit complexes of this dimension you call third form a dimension of free will which is not able to, shall we say, recognize in full the distortions towards manipulation. Thus, in order to balance the dimensional variances in vibration, a quarantine, this being a balancing situation whereby the free will of the Orion group is not stopped but given a challenge. Meanwhile, the third group is not hindered from free choice. Question 16.3. Questioner, could these windows that occur to let the Orion group come through once in a while have anything to do with this free will balancing? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 16.4. Questioner, could you tell me how that works? Answer, I am Ra. The closest analogy would be a random number generator within certain limits. Question 16.5. Questioner, what is the source of this random number generator? Is it created by the guardians to balance their guarding? Or is it a source other than the guardians? Answer, I am Ra. All sources are one. However, we understand your query. The window phenomenon is another self-phenomenon from the guardians. It operates from the dimensions beyond space-time in what you may call the area of intelligent energy. Like your cycles, such balancing, such rhythms are as a clock striking. In the case of the windows, no entities have the clock. Therefore, it seems random. It is not random in the dimension which produces this balance. That is why we stated the analogy was within certain limits. Question 16.6. Questioner, then this window balancing prevents the guardians from reducing their positive polarization by totally eliminating the Orion contact through shielding. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is partially correct. In effect, the balancing allows an equal amount of positive and negative influx, this balanced by the mind, body, spirit distortions of the social complex. Thus in your particular planetary sphere, less negative, as you would call it, information or stimulus is necessary than positive due to the somewhat negative orientation of your social complex distortion. Question 16.7. Questioner, in this way, total free will is balanced so that individuals may have an equal opportunity to choose service to others or service to self. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 16.8. Questioner, this is a profound revelation, I believe, in the law of free will. Thank you. This is a minor question further to make an example of this principle, but if the Confederation landed on Earth, they would be taken as gods, breaking the law of free will and thus reducing their polarization of service to all. I assume that the same thing would happen if the Orion group landed. How would this affect their polarization of service to self if they were able to land and became known as gods? Answer, I am Ra. In the event of mass landing of the Orion group, the effect of polarization would be strongly toward an increase in the service to self, precisely the opposite of the former opportunity which you mentioned. Question 16.9. Questioner, if the Orion group was able to land, would this increase their polarization? What I am trying to get at is it better for them to work behind the scenes to get recruits, shall we say, from our planet, the person from our planet going strictly on his own using free will, or is it just as good for the Orion group to land on our planet and demonstrate remarkable powers and get people like that? Answer, I am Ra. This first instance is, in the long run, shall we put it, more salubrious for the Orion group in that it does not infringe upon the law of one by landing and, thus, does its work through those of this planet. In the second circumstance, a mass landing would create a loss of polarization due to the infringement upon the free will of the planet. However, it would be a gamble. If the planet were then conquered and became part of the Empire, the free will would then be re-established. This is restrained in action due to the desire of the Orion group to progress towards the one creator. This desire to progress inhibits the group from breaking the law of confusion. Question 16.10. Questioner, you mentioned the word empire in relation to the Orion group. I have thought for some time that the movie Star Wars was somehow an allegory for what is actually happening. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct in the same way that a simple children's story is an allegory for physical, philosophical, social, complex, distortion understanding. Question 16.11. Questioner, is there a harvest of entities oriented towards service to self like there is a harvest of those oriented towards service to others? Answer, I am Ra. There is one harvest. Those able to enter fourth density through vibrational complex levels may choose the manner of their further seeking of the one creator. Question 16.12. Questioner, then as we enter the fourth density there will be a split, shall we say, and part of the individuals who go into the fourth density will go into planets or places where there is service to others and part will go into places where there is service to self. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 16.13. Questioner, can you tell me the origin of the Ten Commandments? Answer, I am Ra. The origin of these commandments follows the law of negative entities impressing information upon positively oriented mind, body, spirit complexes. The information attempted to copy or ape positivity while retaining negative characteristics. Question 16.14. Questioner, was this done by the Orion group? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 16.15. Questioner, what was their purpose in doing this? Answer, I am Ra. The purpose of the Orion group, as mentioned before, is conquest and enslavement. This is done by finding and establishing an elite and causing others to serve the elite through various devices such as the laws you mentioned and others given by this entity. Question 16.16. Questioner, was the recipient of the commandments positively or negatively oriented? Answer, I am Ra. The recipient was one of extreme positivity, thus accounting for some of the pseudo-positive characteristics of the information received. As with contacts which are not successful, this entity, vibratory complex, did not remain a credible influence among those who had first heard the philosophy of one, and this entity was removed from this third density vibratory level in a lessened or saddened state, having lost what you may call the honor and faith with which he had begun the conceptualization of the law of one and the freeing of those who were of his tribes, as they were called at that time-space. Question 16.17. Questioner, if this entity was positively oriented, how was the Orion group able to contact him? Answer, I am Ra. This was an intensive, shall we say, battleground between positively oriented forces of Confederation origin and negatively oriented sources. The one called Mish was open to impression and received the law of one in its most simple form. However, the information became negatively oriented due to his people's pressure to do specific physical things in the third density planes. This left the entity open for the type of information and philosophy of a self-service nature. Question 16.18. Questioner, it would be wholly unlike an entity fully aware of the knowledge of the law of one to ever say, thou shalt not. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 16.19. Questioner, can you give me some kind of history of your social memory complex and how you became aware of the law of one? Answer, I am Ra. The path of our learning is graven in the present moment. There is no history, as we understand your concept. Picture, if you will, a circle of being. We know the Alpha and Omega as infinite intelligence. The circle never ceases. It is present. The densities we have traversed at various points in the circle correspond to the characteristics of cycles. First, the cycle of awareness. Second, the cycle of growth. Third, the cycle of self-awareness. Fourth, the cycle of love or understanding. Fifth, the cycle of light or wisdom. Sixth, the cycle of light, love, light or unity. Seventh, the gateway cycle. Eighth, the octave which moves into a mystery we do not plan. Question 16.20. Questioner, thank you very much. In previous material, before we communicated with you, it was stated by the Confederation that there is actually no past or future, that all is present. Would this be a good analogy? Answer, I am Ra. There is past, present, and future in third density. In an overview such as an entity may have, removed from the space-time continuum, it may be seen that in the cycle of completion there exists only the present. We, ourselves, seek to learn this understanding. At the seventh level or dimension, we shall, if our humble efforts are sufficient, become one with all, thus having no memory, no identity, no past or future, but existing in the all. Question 16.21. Questioner, does this mean that you would have awareness of all that is? Answer, I am Ra. This is partially correct. It is our understanding that it would not be our awareness, but simply awareness of the Creator. In the Creator is all that there is. Therefore, this knowledge would be available. Question 16.22. Questioner, I was wondering how many inhabited planets there are in our galaxy and if they all reach higher density by the law of one. It doesn't seem that there would be any other way to reach higher density. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. Please restate your query. Question 16.23. Questioner, how many inhabited planets are there in our galaxy? Answer, I am Ra. We are assuming that you intend all dimensions of consciousness or densities of awareness in this question. Approximately 1/5 of all planetary entities contain awareness of one or more densities. Some planets are hospitable only for certain densities. Your planet, for instance, is at this time hospitable for densities 1, 2, 3, and 4. Question 16.24. Questioner, roughly how many total planets in this galaxy of stars that we are in are aware regardless of density? Answer, I am Ra. Approximately 67 million. Question 16.25. Questioner, can you tell me what percentage of those are third, fourth, fifth, sixth, etc. density? Answer, I am Ra. A percentage 17 for first density, a percentage 20 for second density, a percentage 27 for third density, a percentage 16 for fourth density, a percentage 6 for fifth density. The other information must be withheld. Question 16.26. Questioner, of these first 5 densities, have all of the planets progressed from the third density by knowledge and application of the law of one? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 16.27. Questioner, then the only way for a planet to get out of the situation that we are in is for the population to become aware of and start practicing the law of one. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 16.28. Questioner, can you tell me what percentage of the third, fourth, and fifth density planets which you have spoken of here are polarized negatively towards service to self? Answer, I am Ra. This is not a query to which we may speak given the law of confusion. We may say only that the negatively or self-service oriented planetary spheres are much fewer. To give you exact numbers would not be appropriate.
Okay, I want to do a channel shout out to everybody that's here, and then we're going to get into what we just listened to. Let me see if I can get a participation list. It says Janice, Love and Light, and Quantum Quartz, but I know there's more of you in here. We got Dead GPK, we got Mountain Cat. Let me scroll down a little bit. Quantum Quartz, or Quartz Quantum, Love and Light, the Espada. I've known him for a long time. So, okay. This was a message, so to speak, or whatever, that came in 1981. And although they used a different name, they were talking about who we know as Moses. That, you know, he understood the law of one, the oneness that we all are, but ended up getting corrupted, you know, by the demands of the people. And instead of going for service to others, it ended up being making it more service to self because of all the demands that were put on him after this encounter. But that was the entire plan of these beings that met up with him and gave him the 10 Commandments. So it ended up in the end corrupting him, which would have been the intentions of what they were talking about, the Orion beings. Now, this being a free will planet, we always have the right to choose, but that doesn't mean that they don't use influences. Even in the Bible, it says a third fell. Okay, a third fell. That would mean, you know, as I'm looking at sky watchers and they are capturing these anomalies in the sky, that could be ships that are traveling through what is behind me, like a toroidal field, and but they're not supposed to interfere with the sovereignty and the free will of this planet. They try to use influence. Hey, preliminal. Oh, and YOLO X. Sorry if I missed you, hon. So, you know, I know that was a bit long. I usually would have had that shortened up, but the entire thing put everything into perspective, into the concepts of a lot of the things that we're seeing right now. And it also talks about, you know, when you're living in the third density, you do feel like the history is history. It is fixed. We're on a linear timeline. And, you know, that's the way that you will view things, and understandably so. I don't know of many people that didn't start out thinking that time was fixed until the Mandela effect happened and things started changing, and not just changing from what we remember, but changing from conception. Like, it never was that way. So, you know, allowing us to remember who and what we are, also having the free will to choose with our sovereignty whether we'll be in service to self or in service to others. So, and as it clearly stated in this interview or this session, or there's 106 parts to it. I listed it in the description box, so you can go over to the channel and listen to these, as there's a lot of profound wisdom that was dropped about the law of one, and has nothing to do with evil. The law of one is us understanding that we are all from the one, and we see the oneness in each and every one of us. It's not how like Aleister Crowley or do what thou wilt type of a thing at all. At all. You just need to think of everything here is inverted and backwards. Spirit layer frequencies, AU perception. Yes. And let's see, what did quantum say? Bermuda Triangle. Never been there. I wonder if it's still a phenomena happening. Well, yeah, you just never know. Hey, Michelle, we all loved it. Great. I've been busy for months. Glad to hear and see that you after all this time. Yeah, I have been coming on like late night. I haven't been putting it up on Twitter or Facebook or anything. I just want to see who actually is getting notifications that, you know, are actually interested and are coming on over. At the same time, we're planning a meetup event in August, and I've already had 2 people step forward to help, because it's going to take a team. It's going to take a very large team in order to get that organized and planned for. There's nothing better than us all meeting up together. It's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful experience. But, okay, so if they actually came down and landed their ships and showed their abilities, you know, we would look at them as gods. Unless you have already gone through or are going through the refinement, seeking for that truth, remembering who you are, you will realize that they are just a created being, just like you, just like me, and you will not worship them or bow down to them, because there's nothing that they're doing that you cannot do, and more within you. So we're getting more in tune with our energetic, the frequencies that we omit and the frequencies that others omit. And it's just as easy as think about, are they here to control you, or are they here to serve? There's a huge difference in that. Are they here to oppress you and put you into servitude? Or are they here to lift you up into the understanding and understanding of who and what you are? So I don't necessarily think that, you know, like, I wouldn't say aliens, or which have been called angels, are all bad. It only said a third fell, okay? So there's only a small fraction that have come in and interfered with what was going on with the evolution of mankind. There was a time when we knew exactly who we are and who we were, and we're in the time of remembrance now. But they're throwing every single thing at us that they can to create doubt within ourselves, and doubt on what we're to look at, what we're to investigate. So don't allow them to put you in boxes. Come out of the boxes, because you are everything and more. You can overcome this very swiftly by not allowing anybody to forbid you from looking into information. But on that one that I just shared, it was talking about Moses and the 10 Commandments, and it was also talking about the Orion beings, and that was an encounter that he had with the Orion beings, and he was of pure intention and understood the law of one very, very well. And then he got his people out of a situation wanting them to be free and have that understanding and remembrance of who they were. Then he had that encounter and came down, and people were just, behaving in such a manner, and they kind of drug him down. And we have to be careful, because there are people that will drag you down, and that's why we've got to feel, are they a heart-centered service to others? Do they love you as much as they love themselves? Or are they just wanting you to follow them, listen to them, do not question them? Are they in it for your growth and your expansion, or are they in it for themselves? It's really that simple when you get, down to it. Hi, My Skies 5D, how are you? Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few of you that pop in at these late nights, but I am going to try and keep this one at an hour. But I am willing to open up the phone lines, and you know how it goes. We kind of just free flow. And if anybody has anything they want to share on what was just shared, on what their feelings are on it, as long as it's not attacking other people. I don't agree with forcing beliefs on people, but nor do I agree with telling other people they can't believe the way they want to. Everything is a choice. It's a free choice. We have the right to choose how we are going to, live this life, whether we're going to grow out of it. I have had the feeling that there is going to be a separation. I've been feeling that quite strongly, and the people that are in service to self will, and I brought this up the other day about the 10 virgins that slept, and then when they woke up, the 5 didn't have enough oil, or didn't have any oil, and wanted the ones with the oil to give to them. Well, at that time, they didn't have any oil to give to them. It was too late. So they were sent over to those who buy and sell, meaning in that parable that they had to go to people that were just like them, in service to self only, and then the ones that were in service to others moved on to a different realm, and the door was shut. They could not cross over. They had to learn the lessons and go through the refinement just like everybody else does. It's a progress. It's a process. Some people pick up on it very easily. Some people it's a little more difficult, but it doesn't mean you will not get there, because it's possible and it's probable. So, but I have had this very strong feeling of a separation. Maybe sometimes we think of them as NPCs. Maybe they're just space holders, and we don't relate to them because maybe the split already happened. And so that our hearts don't get broken, they don't just vanish on us. They're just more like an NPC. Because it would be very heartbreaking to move on and then to find out that your family didn't come along with you. Just something to think about. So the toroidal field that I'm showing behind, a lot of vessels that the Sky Watchers catch, they're actually traveling through what is a toroidal energetic field, and they're actually capturing them. As our technology is advancing, they're able to see more with what is going on in the skies. So think about, and it was brought up in that segment, Star Wars. You had the Darth Vader type that he wanted everybody to serve him, and then you had the Luke Skywalker, type that was in service to others. The hints are all around us, and we all do have the freedom of choice. But if to think 3D is very linear. And by thinking in linear terms, then you think, okay, everything's fixed, nothing has changed, this is how it's always been, and you don't see the changes. So I think, people that are affected by the Mandela effect phenomena are blessed in a way to be able to see that it's not fixed. Time is an illusion. It's a construct, so that way we can show respect for each other, to keep appointments and things like that. Do you like tacos? What? You guys are gonna make me hungry. Discernment for yes. A unity message and a fear-based victim narrative. Right. If somebody's trying to put you in fear, if you don't do it their way, that there's going to be condemnation, then run away. Run as fast as you can. Okay. I'll pop up the phone number just in case anybody wants to call in and share what's going on with them, and turn the phones on. Make sure you just stay quiet until I address you and take your call. Let me see where I put that. Where's the phone number? Do 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 do. Yeah. Okay, now I gotta bounce back over here, and you'll hear the you'll hear it start ringing or whatever. That's just my phone ringing and to connect. Well, thank you. And I will. So if anybody wants to call in, you're more than welcome to. And let's go back where I can see the chat. To share what you thought of the Law of One, or actually, I'm sorry, the Raw interview, or I would say the Raw, the I Am Raw message, and how it actually, there's so much truth in there. Like I said, there's 106 sessions, so, and he's broken some of them down into 2 parts and things like that, so they're palatable, because there's so much information in there, and it really is resonating with a lot of the things that we are going through, together with this, and being in service to each other, and how much we all add to this puzzle, how important it is for each of us that we bring into this information, into this puzzle, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we've got a call, 608. You're on Awake and Activate. Please introduce yourself. And they left. Okay. I tried. Maybe they got disconnected. You're welcome to call back. I will only say your first, your area code. That's it. That's when I say your area code, then you can start talking. After you introduce yourself, tell people who you are. Myself, I can hold a vibration on negative narrative and victimization and fear. I just hold a vibration of it. Really? Our DNA is being activated, upgraded right now, and it depends on our positive vibration and perspective and intentions. Yes, my Sky's 5D. It really has a lot to do with where is your heart. Are you in it for yourself, or are you in it for other people also? Okay, 608, you're live. Go ahead and introduce yourself and let's chat. Are you there? Can you hear me? Hi. Yes. Hey. Hi, love. Oh, awesome. What a treat. hold the fort. Let me make sure everybody can hear you. I might need to turn on my desktop audio.
Yeah.
Now
Sure.
now they can hear you. Okay. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Oh,
it's
great.
It's preliminal, guys. It's preliminal. Okay.
Hi there. Well, it's so nice to hear from you, and I don't think I've called your show before. I mean, I've watched many episodes.
I know you're a
lately,
sweetie.
Oh, thanks. And I feel so bad, about your daughter. That's like the worst thing that could happen. I mean,
That's
I've
so
never
cool.
had children, but I can imagine how much that must hurt.
Yeah, and around the
And-
holidays, it's like this is the first holidays, and but you know what? She's in a better place, and she still
Yeah.
comes to me in my dreams and stuff. So, she's
Oh,
she's
that's great.
in a better place, and she's around me
Yeah.
all the time. I feel her, I
Oh,
sense her.
that's so great.
Yes, it
That
is.
is so.
She's
That is wonderful.
she's pure love.
I'm so happy to hear that, because I did know a friend in the 80s who passed away, and I saw them in a dream before I even knew they had passed. I didn't even know they had passed away, and I was talking to them in a dream, and
Huh?
it was very lucid, and they were their body was like silver-ish, yet
Yeah.
beyond color, yet just other
In their light
dimensional.
body. Wow.
Yeah, a light body. Yeah, and they were encouraging me, because at that time I was going through a heartache from a girlfriend I was going out with at the time, and they and it was like, this person passed away, I didn't even know, because it was only a few days, and I just hadn't talked to them, and saw them in this lucid dream, and I woke up and just was bewildered, like, what was that? That was, and I was only 20 at the time, and so I have had that experience with somebody that had passed and had visited me in a dream, encouraging,
Mm-hmm.
because they knew I was going through a really tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's my first girlfriend. I was never in love before, and I just thought everything was going fine. I didn't anticipate. And it kind of hit me like I felt run over. Or I wasn't ready for that, so it was really painful at the time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's
so-
like a traumatic event times 10. And
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah. I mean, it really. Yeah. I'm with
Yeah.
you. I
So,
understand.
so that for me, that was really encouraging to have that kind of spirit type of dream. It didn't feel like a collage of surreal nonsense. It felt like an actual presence of that person.
Mm-hmm.
That
That pure
was just-
love and that communication.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, when you had that encounter, was their mouth moving? Because when I see my daughter, her mouth
Huh.
isn't moving, but I hear everything she's saying.
Yeah, it did seem more like a psychic visit. It didn't seem like they were talking, and they weren't even walking. They were like hovering, sort of, or floating. And
Probably trying to show you could do that too in that realm.
yeah, I do have lucid dreams a lot. I don't think intentionally. I think it's just kind of automatic, because I've just always thought more in a futuristic way, or in an idealistic. I've always put some value towards whatever I'm dreaming. I always, I even try to contact people when I'm dreaming and I'm aware of it. I try to communicate and ask people what, philosophically, any questions about life, and I try to look for a book and bring the sentence with me when I wake up, so that I actually discovered something that was in a dream that was written in text or any book that I see. That's one of my first. I'm trying to find something that that will make life less mysterious.
Yeah. Did you find something that makes life less mysterious? Because life to me is
what I
one big
discovered is that
mystery, and
there's-
it's beautiful discovering it. I'm
I-
sorry. Go ahead.
I found that there's a dream police that won't let me. I can't bring it to when I get up and try to write it down. There's something that won't. There's something that blocks.
Can I give you some advice on that?
I don't. Sure.
When I'm writing it down, I lose it. It's just like as soon as you wake up, you start to lose it. A tape recorder, or I come out to my computer and just turn it on and hit record and just talk. I talk it out as soon as, like right when I wake up. I don't care if my hair's sticking up. I don't care about any of that. It's just a matter of just getting it recorded while it is
You
right
have
then
like
and there.
10 seconds to get it down. But even in that case with my notebook, that might just to jot down anything. There's something, I don't know what that is. So far, over the past 30 years, it still won't let me. So I'm thinking, okay, something is
There's a blockage.
sacred in the spirit. I'm supposed to learn it here, not there. I don't know. Could be wrong. Maybe there is something. I had a really intense dream two nights before 9/11. I dreamt that my body was two skyscrapers, a left side and a right side, and I had windows all over my chest and arms, and there were tiny people falling out of me, and I was it was sort of like a Godzilla movie, except my body was skyscrapers instead of some kind of monster, and I was walking. The ground was shaking, and there were these tiny people falling out of my arms, chest. And then I woke up on 9/11, the 2 mornings later, and turned on the Today Show. And it was when the first building, it was before the second plane hit. If they were playing, whether
Right. I'm with you.
whether it was real or not. I was just turning on the TV and I thought, oh, that's strange. And I just thought it was an accident. But then I remembered the dream and I thought, wait, this reminds me of that dream I just had 2 nights ago. So that happened to me on September 9th.
Do you have deja vu a lot, by chance?
Not since the Mandela effect. I haven't had one deja vu, and I used to have it a lot.
Because sometimes you see things when you're dreaming, and then you'll walk through it, and it'll feel like a deja vu, like big time.
Yeah.
But it's because you've already been there in your dream.
Yeah, like in a parallel reality, like you remember something, except it was slightly different, but it was like you had been through that.
Yeah, and it comes across as a deja vu. It can make you actually dizzy and feel like you're a little wooey, but But so
or that you
not
dreamed
since
it, but I always had it until
The
February
Mandela.
2016. I write a journal. I have not had deja vu for all this time, almost 4 years now.
and you
So
still
that's
can't remember your
very
dreams,
Weird. I'm sorry.
but you still can't remember your dreams.
Oh no, I remember my dreams a lot. I'm
Okay.
saying
Good.
deja vu, like when I'm awake, that was something I always had deja vu experiences.
Makes me
Until
wonder,
the Mandela effect.
what do you think on this? Do you think there
Okay.
was a possible separation at that time?
Seems like it. It seems like, whatever causes deja vu is suddenly withholding, or
No, I mean like the
you know,
separation, like that was played in the video when it was talking about that some will go to an area where it is just service to self, and then others
Hmm.
will evolve and move to another that is where their heart is more in service to others. Because I've had this intense feeling of there's going to be a separation. It's talked about in scriptures called the rapture, different areas, and with the Mandela effect happening, and then all of a sudden we've got these new terms like NPCs, and that they kind of just go along with the program. Like, but wouldn't that be a gentler way on us if we got moved to at least be able to see and interact with our loved ones? Because it would break your heart to realize that you'd been taken, but your loved ones are not there. So in a gentler way, they're there, but they're not really like quite there. You know what? You understand what I'm saying? So I'm wondering, maybe do you think it already happened, or is this something that is going to happen?
wow. Well, maybe I can learn something from you on that, because I mean, I've struggled since earliest memories with a sort of fixated personality crisis. I wouldn't call it a disorder. It's more like constant self-rejection. I've never accepted myself. I always find faults in myself. I'm very self-critical, and I keep starting over. I've been in a vicious circle since 1970. Like, as a child, I kept visualizing who I'm supposed to be, and then I would try to live that. And it's kind of like a Catholic guilt complex, where you're always trying to be.
There's your block right
You're
there.
always trying.
Okay.
Altruistic. Always trying to be altruistic. And then if you do something wrong, you tear yourself apart. That's what I've been going through.
And somebody else that you did this to has already done let it go,
Yeah.
and you're still judging yourself really critically. That's a pretty normal
still
pattern.
in the same vicious circle. I can't get started. I'm stuck. I'm in. I was already in a kind of twilight zone. But anyway, I gotta go, Michelle. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Well, pretty amazing. If you're still here with us, people can contact me for, if you know what Beyond Quantum Healing is. The link is also in the description box, and when you contact me there, it is private, and then we can get together, offline and chat about things and see if I may be the right fit for you, and hopefully remove some of the blocks and things that hinder us from progressing along. Now, I know that he's had this inner turmoil for a while, but a lot of people do this. It's that guilt matrix that's been laid over us that keeps us from moving forward, but that we need to let go of and have that understanding of remembering who we are, and that we're pure love. And when you love other people, you're going to treat them how you want to be treated, and it really works. It's really beneficial. So when you remove some of these blocks that a lot of us have had to go through the process of removing, then we grow and we move forward and come out of the confusion. And hyper judging ourselves is one of the things that people that are in service to others, we normally do. We will judge ourselves more critically than the other person that we feel that we did something wrong to. And really we're in free will, and there's not good or evil. It is truly just, are you in service to self or service to others? Are you trying to make people submit to what you say, or are you willing to listen to everybody, because everybody holds a precious piece to this thing, this process, this refinement that we're all going through. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty profound. And Pri has always been just such a wonderful, very kind, very supportive gentleman, and I've seen him on several platforms. Now, it takes a lot of strength to be on several platforms, because some platforms may not really understand exactly who they are yet. So we got to keep our minds open and stop allowing ourselves to be put into these boxes, because the whole idea is to tear down these boxes, but to do it in love. And so you would never do anything to anybody that you wouldn't want done to yourself. And I can guarantee you, anything that we did in our past has been long forgiven, and it's just us that needs to forgive ourselves. So I hope that was helpful. But what a beautiful share about the deja vu, and not having deja vu since 2016 is amazing. I have had deja vu since then, but it's different for everybody. That's how unique and beautiful each of us are. Is anybody else wanting to call and chat and share? And I didn't mean to scare him off or anything. Yeah, that was an awesome phone call. I had an awesome call with JJ. We had an awesome pop on with Rain on the Plains, and there's a lot of you hootie owls, you late nighters, and I'm just trying to test to see, if people are getting notifications or what's going on, and things like that, along with sharing what I know. But always do your own introspection and what resonates with you. It's got to resonate in your heart. You got to feel it in your heart, and you get your heart and your mind together. And once you get your heart and your mind, it's your mind that keeps condemning you. Your heart has already forgiven you. So once you get them in alignment and get rid of the things that no longer serve you out of your mind, just push them out and allow that pure, unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness to just flow through your entire being. It's, it changes your walk. It changes your outlook. It changes your perspective. It changes your prospective. You're able to look at things from different vantage points when you're looking at situations. And in situations where you're being hypercritical of yourself, just replay and see, you just view it. You can see yourself here and all the other actors or whatever that were participating in that, and just watch it, and then try to tie yourself into how this other person's feeling, or and see, are they holding a grudge on you, or have they long forgiven you? And if they've long forgiven you, then it's time for you to let go. So sometimes we hold on to things and we beat ourselves up, and there's no reason for that. Absolutely no reason for that. I'm going to hop over so I can see the chat until somebody calls. And Whoa, the chat's like moving super fast, probably because I haven't been over here for a while. Or is the chat really moving that fast? Or is it just trying to catch me up? Okay, there. It finally stopped. Yeah, he was. Oh my gosh. And I was not trying to cut him off at all. He's got amazing perspectives, an amazing experience he just shared with us. I mean, that was pretty awesome. To not even be aware that someone he knew had passed away, but came and paid him a visit in light body, pouring out, unconditional love on him while he was going through a hardship in his life with the heartbreak. That's pretty awesome in itself. I mean, and things like that will be an everyday occurrence, because we're understanding and understanding that we're not, when we die from here, it's not the end. We just move to another realm, and learn and grow from there. But this being free will, we have the right to choose. And so, choose wisely. I mean, it's really not that difficult to make the right choice. And on, what kind of people you surround yourself with. If they are trying to control you the way you're thinking or the way you believe, any of those things, well, evaluate that friendship. Is it somebody trying to take control of you and take your energy onto whatever they're trying to manifest? Or are they respecting you as the divine manifester that you are? And then when you're manifesting from your heart, you'll never go wrong. It's just getting our heart and mind into coherence. So you can contact me. That is down in the description box, and they are private. So no problems there. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Anybody else want to call? Now, I'm going to get back into the toroidal fields. They surround us also. We are surrounded by this toroidal field, and how the ships use the toroidal fields to, travel, which would be what we would call free energy, and how the Sky Watchers are capturing these amazing phenomena on their equipment and sharing them with us all. And you will be able to tell by the energy of the being on what type of being that they are. We call it our gut instinct. These things we've shoved so far behind us and stopped trusting ourselves. And it's time that we start trusting our gut instincts, separating from those that no longer serve, whether they be from another planet, another realm, another dimension. We know. You can feel it. And so if they're telling you what you should and should not do, if they're showing you abilities and not telling you that you have the very same, if they are showing godlike abilities and wanting you to bow down to them, run, because that's trying to put you back into a box of obedience and oppression, and you're free. Freedom, though, also comes responsibility. So with the freedom, that's where the service to self and service to others comes in. If your freedom is self-serving, well, people are going to see right through that, and they're not going to be around. But as soon as, that shift, that pole shift, which everybody seems to think is a planetary motion, it's actually a polarization shift from being controlled to actually being a free sovereign being, which you are. You always have been, but you were being suppressed from knowing that. And we're in this beautiful time of remembrance, and we have to go through, I call it a refinement process, to strengthen us up so that way we can walk in this daily with unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness. So, actually, you know what? It's already, oh my gosh, it's been an hour already. I'm trying to keep them a little shorter, so I am going to close the phones. Because on the playbacks, people don't watch them if they're over an hour. So, you know, they get a little too long for them. So, and I understand that. But it's more about the message, and I'm wanting to get to know you guys better, because we're all one. We're all one. We're unique. We're sovereign. We're divine. The divine resides within. It's a matter of reconnecting, seeing the beauty in everything around us, realizing every intention pebble that we throw in, just like this toroidal field, will oscillate around, and it does affect all the other droplets that are around us, making that one body of water. So with that, you guys, think about these anomalies that these sky watchers are capturing. They're absolutely amazing. Pay attention to the skies and just walk into it. And like I said, if you're interested in a Beyond Quantum Healing session, contact me. It doesn't hurt to contact me to find out if this is something that is right for you. I love you guys. Have yourself a wonderful night. And the heart, yeah.